and here we are with lesson 3 about helping verbs. In this video we talk about tag questions, or some books call them question tags. A tag question is basically when we say a sentence and at the end of the sentence we ask a question. For example, it's hot today, isn't it? First I said the sentence, it's hot today, and at the end of this sentence I attached a question. Isn't it? Now, tag questions are very special because, first of all, of course, they use helping verbs. So, if I said, you like ice cream, don't you? Here I need to use don't because the original sentence was in present simple tense, and the helping verb that goes with the present simple tense for verbs that are not the verb to be is do. But for tag questions, we need to add a question at the end of the sentence that uses the opposite form of the verb. What I mean is, if the sentence itself is positive, like, it's hot today, then the tag question needs to be negative. Isn't it? This works with all different helping verbs and even with modal verbs. I remember one day after work, one of my friends who was an English teacher came to me and said, today I had to teach the worst lesson from the English book. I don't know why they put this lesson in there. I said, really? What was the topic? He said, tag questions. I said, oh, I know tag questions. And he told me, so stupid. We never use tag questions, do we? I laughed really hard after that because it's true. A lot of English speakers don't really realize that they use tag questions. Another important thing to know about tag questions is that we use 2 different types of intonation when we ask tag questions. And these 2 different types of intonation actually have different meanings. So, if we want to ask a genuine, real question, we should use something called rising intonation. For example, you like ice cream. Don't you? Don't you? Repeat after me. Don't you? When we start low and go high, this is called rising intonation. Don't you? Don't you? This tells the person I'm speaking to that this question is real and that I probably want him to answer. The second type of intonation is called falling intonation. You like ice cream, don't you? In this type of intonation we start high and go low. Don't you? Don't you? This type of intonation tells the person I'm speaking to that maybe this is a rhetorical question or a question that doesn't need to be answered. Actually, now that I think of it, a lot of police use this type of intonation. You've been drinking tonight, haven't you? No, officer, no! You're lying, aren't you? No, I'm telling the truth! You haven't subscribed to Kris's channel, have you? You got me. So let's review lesson 2 and lesson 3 of helping verbs. In lesson 2, we talked about echo questions. In lesson 3, we talked about tag questions. What's the difference? In echo questions, we have 2 speakers. In tag questions, we have 1 speaker. In echo questions, the type of verb doesn't change. If the sentence is positive, the question is positive. In tag questions, the form of the sentence does change. If the sentence is positive, the question is negative. So let's compare 2 examples. Echo question. It's hot today. Is it? Tag question. It's hot today. Isn't it? Remember, echo questions have 2 speakers. Tag questions have 1. Now I know that you really want to learn English and you want to know it perfectly. So you should help yourself by subscribing to my channel, pressing like on this video, and writing a comment down below. Until next time, Kris Amerikos.